Good day, gentlemen. Today I'm coming to you again from the Deanship of the Common Year at Majma University. Again, we are doing the English Second Language course, the online version. I am your teacher, Dale Warren, and the language skill I am covering again today is speaking. And today we are doing Unit 8 of Level 1. We are using the same textbook, the Q Skills for Success book, Book 1 of the Listening and Speaking series. So again, it is this book, Book 1, Q Skills for Success, Listening and Speaking, and your picture on the front cover should be orange, like this picture of the book in the top left-hand corner. Okay, our course content for today, our lesson content. Firstly, we are going to do some general revision. Then we are going to go through the use of so and such. And we are going to cover expressing emotions through our speech. All right, and our homework will be from page 159 to 160, which will be an exercise on using speech to express emotion. Okay, the first section we are covering today is the revision. Okay. Some of you might not know what that word revision means. Revision just means looking at something the second time. So if we have learned something last week or 2 weeks ago or a year ago, when I say we are doing revision, we will look at something we have already learned before. It is looking at something we have already learned before. Today we are going to be revising a few basic grammatical concepts. Okay. The first thing I wanted to cover is something known as singular and plural. Please all say after me singular, and please all say after me plural. Okay. When we say something is in the singular, we mean there is one only. Singular means one. It means one only. When we say something is plural, it means there are more than one. So if I say 2 or 18 or 23 or a million or many, all of those terms are plural. It is more than one. So that is the first thing we need to cover in revision today. The difference between singular and plural. Singular is one only. Plural is more than one. So it could be 2 or 18 or 23 or 1,000. All of those are plural. Now, the next issue that we need to cover today in revision is what we call the indefinite article. The indefinite article. The indefinite article is simply that word a or the word an. Those two words are the indefinite article. All right. So if we have to give a definition, the indefinite article is a or an. And to use the indefinite article in examples, he is reading a book. I am eating an egg. Those two words are the indefinite article. When we speak of a singular noun, a noun where there is only one thing, we put the indefinite article before the noun or before the adjective plus the noun. Now, we use a for the indefinite article when the next word begins with a consonant, and we use an for the indefinite article when the next word begins with a vowel. Please remember that rule. When the next word begins with a consonant, we use a, the indefinite article, and when the next word begins with a vowel, we use an for the indefinite article. Right. For those of you who have forgotten vowels and consonants, a little bit of revision here. Remember, the English alphabet has 26 letters. There are 5 vowels, and the 5 vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. There are 21 consonants, and if you want to give all of them, they are B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. So remember, if you have a word that starts with a consonant, in other words, any of those 21 letters, then if we have to use the indefinite article, we use a. If we have a word that starts with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, then we use an as the indefinite article in front of the word starting with a vowel. So, I will say a boy, because boy is a consonant, a motor car, because M is a consonant, a book, B is a consonant, a dog, because D is a consonant, and a house, because H is a consonant. I will say an orange, an umbrella, an aeroplane, an illness, because O, U, A, and R are all vowel sounds. Now, if I say a good boy, G is a consonant, so it will still be a good boy. If I say ugly boy, U is a vowel, and then I would have to make it an ugly boy. I would say an orange, because O is a vowel. But if I said big orange, B is a consonant, and then I would have to say a big orange. When the next letter is a consonant, you use a. But if the next letter is a vowel like O, you will use an. All right. So please remember A plus N plus vowels. And please remember, those are your 21 consonants, and those are your 5 vowels. All right. That is our revision for today. The reason I needed to cover this is because today, when we go into the use of so and such, if it is used with a singular noun, will take the indefinite article a or n, and so you need to understand when we use a and when we use an. All right, guys, I want you all to turn in your books to page 156. And the section we are covering in page 156 is this part that says so and such with adjectives. So and such with adjectives. We use so and such with adjectives to express a stronger feeling than the adjective by itself. All right. So and such are two little words that intensify the words after them. They make the following words stronger. Okay, so if I give you an example, I make a normal statement and I say, I am scared. If I use so, it becomes a strong statement. So instead of saying, I am scared, I say, I'm so scared. If I make a normal statement and I say, John is a clever boy, and I want to turn that into a strong statement, I put in such and it becomes a much stronger statement. John is such a clever boy. If I want to make a normal statement and I say, the students are clever girls, that is a normal statement. If I want to make it a strong statement, I put in that little word such and I say the students are such clever girls, and it becomes a much stronger statement. So from the students are clever girls, as a normal statement, it becomes much more emphatic. The students are such clever girls. All right, so that is the reason that we use so and such. We use so and such to make the following words stronger. They make a normal statement a strong statement. They turn a normal sentence into a stronger sentence. Now, how do we use them? We use them in the following way. We use so when it is followed by an adjective only. And remember, an adjective is a describing word. A word like rich or big or clever. All of those are adjectives. Rich, big, clever, or tall. An adjective is a describing word. It tells you something about somebody or something. So, if we use so with the adjective only. If we use such, and we are using such with a singular noun, remember singular, there's only one of the noun, then we use so with either a or an plus an adjective plus the singular noun. We can also use such with an adjective and a plural noun. Remember, only the singular noun takes such, as I say, can be used with either the singular noun or the plural noun. But the difference is that if it is a singular noun, so there's just one of the noun, then you will use either a or an as your indefinite article before the adjective. So let us go through some examples. If we are just having an adjective, and we look at this sentence, he is so clever. Clever is an adjective, it's a describing word, and there is no noun after the adjective. So, we will simply use the word so. Our original sentence would have been, he is clever, and we make it stronger by adding so, because there is just an adjective, only an adjective, clever. Not he is a clever boy. If we look at example 2, our original statement would have been he is a Now, because our original statement says he is a clever boy, we have the indefinite article, we have an adjective, and we have a noun. So, if we have the indefinite article plus an adjective plus a singular noun, then we have to use such. And our stronger sentence will then read, he is such a clever boy. And probably we would use an exclamation mark to emphasize it. Because we have clever, the adjective, plus the boy, singular noun, we are using such. If we look at example 3, our original statement would have been they are clever students. Now, clever is an adjective, students is a noun. So when we make the stronger version, our stronger version would be they are such clever students. Okay, remember students is a plural noun, so there is no there. That only occurs when you have a singular noun. So we have an adjective and we have a plural noun, and when the sentence has an adjective and a plural noun, we make it stronger with such. When the sentence has an indefinite article, an adjective, and a singular noun, we make it stronger with such. When the sentence only has an adjective, we make it stronger with so. Okay, so very simply, if you remember this pattern, you look at your sentence and see if it only has an adjective, then it is made stronger with a so. If it has an adjective and a plural noun, you use such to make it stronger. If it has an indefinite article, an adjective, and a singular noun, you use such to make it stronger. Okay, guys, what I want you to do on page 156, 156, we have an exercise here where they are giving you a sentence and they need you to make it stronger with so or such. All right. You need to complete each sentence with so or such. Now, if we look at number 1, the spider was big is an adjective, but we do not have a noun after the adjective. What we have is a noun clause, but not a noun after big. So if it is the adjective only, we know it must be intensified with so. So our answer to number 1 would be so. All right. The spider was so big that I thought it was a mouse. Now, if we have a look at number 2, the apartment was on, and then it is a plus, which is the indefinite article, plus ha, which is an adjective, plus floor, which is a noun. Remember what we said? If it is an indefinite article plus an adjective plus a singular noun, we will use such. So we have an indefinite article, we have the adjective ha, and we have floor, which is a singular noun. So number 2 will be such. Okay, I want you all to pause the video and go through and complete 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And as soon as you've completed those, then restart the video and we will go through the answers together. All right, if we look at number 3, I was nervous that my knees were shaking. Nervous is an adjective. There is no noun after nervous. Instead, we have that word that coming after nervous. So if it is just an adjective, then number 3 should read, I was so nervous that my knees were shaking. All right, so our answer for number 3 is so. Our answer to number 1 is so. The spider was so big that I thought it was a mouse. The answer to number 2, the apartment was on such a high floor that I couldn't live there. And the answer to number 3 is so. I was so nervous that my knees were shaking. Llama is something afraid of snakes. Okay. Afraid is an adjective. Snakes is a noun, but snakes is not coming immediately after afraid. Instead of that, we have a preposition of. So, because we do not have afraid and then a noun immediately, we have a preposition in the middle, and that preposition is of. We treat afraid as being an adjective alone. So the answer to number 4, Llama is so afraid of snakes that she can't even look at a picture of one. Okay, the answer to number 4 is so. Right, number 5. The rat had sharp teeth. Okay. We have an adjective, which is sharp. We have a plural noun. The singular noun is tooth, and the plural noun is teeth. We have the adjective, and immediately afterwards, we have the plural noun. So when you have the adjective plus the plural noun, our intensifier must be such. So in number 5, the rat had such sharp teeth that it could bite through wood. So number 5, such. Number 6. I hid under my bed covers because it was something a bad storm. We have the indefinite article, we have an adjective, bad, and we have a singular noun, storm. So that follows pattern number 2, indefinite article, adjective, bad, singular noun, storm, and because it follows pattern number 2, we have to use such. So number 6, I hid under my bed covers because it was such a bad storm. All right. Number 7. May was something tired that she slept through the horror program. Tired is an adjective, but that is not a noun. So because that is not a noun after the adjective, we then are treating this as an adjective only. And if the adjective does not have a noun coming afterwards, we have to use so. May was so tired, and tired is the adjective alone. All right. And lastly, we have number 8. My brother had a hard time getting used to the small elevator in his building. We have a, which is the indefinite article. We have hard, which is an adjective. And we have time, which is a singular noun. And if we have an indefinite article, an adjective, and a singular noun, then it is pattern number 2. And pattern number 2 takes such. So answer for number 8, my brother had such a hard time getting used to the small elevator in his building. All right. Everybody, your answers should read. For number 1, so. The spider was so big that I thought it was a mouse. For number 2, such. The apartment was on such a high floor that I couldn't live there. For number 3, so. I was so nervous that my knees were shaking. For number 4, so. Lana is so afraid of snakes that she can't even look at a picture of one. For number 5, such. The rat had such sharp teeth that it could bite through wood. Number 6 should be such. I hid under my bed covers because it was such a bad storm. For number 7 should be so. May was so tired that she slept through the horror program. And for number 8, it should be such. My brother had such a hard time getting used to the small elevator in his building. All right, please make sure, everybody, that your answers all read as they do here. I'm going to stop the video. Okay, you should all, as I say, have those answers. And if you didn't get them initially, you should have changed them. If you haven't done that yet, as I say, just pause the video and then change them. Okay, moving on. The next section that we are doing is expressing our emotions. And that is on page 158 of the textbook. It is this section of the textbook at the bottom. All right, on page 158. We need to discuss, first of all, what emotions are, because I'm not sure all of you know that English word. If you don't know that English word and you're having trouble following, then look up the word in an English Arabic dictionary and you will be able to see what it means. Basically, our emotions are our feelings. For instance, happiness, or sadness, or love, or hate. Once again, if you don't know what those particular words are, you can look them up in a dictionary. Now, if we look at page 158 again, the three emotions that this exercise concentrates on are firstly, surprise, secondly, happiness, and thirdly, sadness. Again, if you don't know what any of those three words mean, please look them up in an Arabic English dictionary, and please write them in your book above the English word. Write them in Arabic so you know what they mean. Okay, there are certain phrases that we often use in English to express surprise, or to express happiness, or to express sadness. And our surprise, or our happiness, or our sadness should come out in the way we speak. So if we are expressing surprise, I will say, "No kidding, no way. Are you serious? I am surprised. It is hard for me to believe," and that's why I say, "No kidding, no way. Are you serious?" If we express happiness, our voices change, and we don't sound the same way as when we expressed surprise. So we would say, "I'm glad to hear that. That's wonderful. Super." So we express happiness again in the tone of our voice. And again, if we have to express sadness, our voice changes again. And we will say something like, "I'm sorry to hear that." Or we will say, "That's terrible." Or we will say, "How awful." And again, the tone of our voice expresses our emotion. It expresses what we are feeling. Now, we have been given in this exercise three phrases that express surprise. "No kidding. No way. Are you serious?" We have been given three phrases that express happiness. "I'm glad to hear that. That's wonderful. Super." And we have been given three phrases that express sadness. "I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. How awful." Now, what they want us to do in exercise A is to read the sentences and then look at the phrases in the brackets. So exercise A starts off, "I'm really afraid of bears." And the person who answers can either say, "No kidding," which means he's expressing surprise, or he can say, "I'm glad to hear that," which is expressing happiness. But in fact, if somebody tells you something bad, you should actually express surprise, not happiness. So our answer for A1 should correctly be kidding. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I need you guys to read through the exercise on page 158, which goes on to page 159 at the top. And each time you see options, circle the one that you think is correct. Some of them will express surprise, some of them will express happiness, and some will express sadness. So I need you to start the exercise on the bottom of page 158 and continue it on page 159. I need you to pause the video and do it, and then we will go through it all together. Okay, so please pause the video and then have a look at these sentences. If you don't understand some of the sentences or some of the words, you can use an online dictionary to translate them into Arabic so you can see what those words mean. But what I want you to do is circle the correct answer in each case. Okay, you should have paused the video, and now let us go through. All right, number 2. Birds scare me. I'm always afraid they're going to land on me. Oh, I love birds. I had 4 birds at home, but one of them died last month. Okay, super expresses happiness. You don't want to express happiness here because this is not something happy that he has told you. So the correct one to express is, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Number 3. I just gave a speech to everyone in my school. I thought you were afraid of public speaking. I was afraid, but I spent a lot of time practicing with small groups, and I got over my fear. Now, we can either say that's wonderful, which expresses happiness, or we can say that's terrible, which expresses sadness. But because this is good news, we want to express happiness. So the answer we should put in is that's wonderful. It is expressing happiness. Okay, number 4. How's your brother? He's not doing very well. Why not? You know, he's a very nervous person. He's afraid of loud noises, and his new neighbor is really loud. Now, the answers are, I'm glad to hear that. That is expressing happiness. The other answer is, how awful. And that is expressing sadness. Because this is bad news, we want to choose one that expresses sadness. So the correct answer is, how awful. All right. If we look at number 5, what do you think of spiders? Are you afraid of them? Yeah, I'm really afraid of spiders. I was bitten by one once. I'm sorry to hear that. No way. How did that happen? It was on my arm and I didn't see it. In this answer, I'm sorry to hear that expresses sadness, and no way expresses surprise. The book answer is no way expressing surprise, but in fact, both answers can be correct. You can be sad that your friend was bitten by a spider. You can also be surprised that your friend was bitten by a spider. So for number 5, I personally think that both answers are correct, and you can use either one. Okay, guys, let us just go through those answers very quickly. Number 1, the answer was no kidding, and it expressed surprise. Number 2 expressed sadness. Number 3 expressed gladness. Number 4 expressed sadness. How awful. In number 5, you could have used either answer. The first answer expressed sadness, and the second expressed surprise. Alright, so those should have been your answers. No kidding for number 1. For number 2, I'm sorry to hear that. For number 3, that's wonderful. For number 4, how awful. For number 5, you could put I'm sorry to hear that, or you could say no way. Now, our homework is going to be from the next exercise, B, on page 158. What I want you to do is use the expressions they gave us over here. No kidding, no way, are you serious? I'm glad to hear that. That's wonderful. Super. I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. How awful. And I need you to use those, one of those noun expressions each time, to fill in the answers that are missing. Now, sometimes more than one answer is possible. So if we say, I heard a loud noise in the kitchen last night when I was home alone. It sounded like a scream. I was so scared. We could put no kidding, no way, or we could put how awful, or that's terrible. What was it? So you must choose whichever answer you think is best and put it in. All right. The exercise carries on onto the next page, page 160. So I need you to do the section at the bottom of 159 and the section on the top of 160. When you have filled in an answer in each of these missing words, for each of these missing words, and as I say, the answers must come from this part here, these words over here. No kidding, no way. Are you serious? Then I need you to take a photograph of the bottom of page 159 and a photograph of the top of 160 with your answers. Okay. And attach the photo to an email headed homework and send that email to your speaking teacher. Okay, everybody, so this is the homework. It is page 159 to 160, and it is exercise B, and all we need you to do is fill in where the words are missing, and the words that you must use to fill in are these sentences here. Either no kidding, or no way, or are you serious, or I'm glad to hear that, or that's terrible, or how awful. Any one of those you fill in over here or over here to complete the sentences. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and that brings us to the end of the unit.